flow here. I think I'm going. Always something going wrong with the stream. I'm not even gonna say what's going on with my stream this time, but we got it going, so that's all that matters. Okay. Let's see, what is it? It is Monday, June 9th. And I don't really have a lot of room here. I could start a new page, but... Excuse me. Alright, so, I'm gonna do some more testing today. Have some more colors. These are more interesting than I realized. I think kind of disappointing in a way, but I have no issue with these really. They're retractable and they're fine, I guess. They look cool and comfortable, etc. But anyway, all those Uniball pens I was talking about, Uniball, Signo, I think they're kind of moving toward these. Hopefully these grip areas don't do the same things as the RT ones, because those kind of like start disintegrating. Anyway, when I looked up other colors for this pen, I was noticing they seemed like, I don't know if they're discontinuing the other models, but there's more colors in this form factor than the others. So anyway, I guess they're fine. I haven't used them enough to really care that much or know. They're relatively new on the scene. I'm used to these ones, but they should be basically the same. Anyway, so I don't need to do anything with those. I want to test all the other pens that are different, whatever, unique series. So I'll separate them into a series here. This is another set of pens that's pretty good. I don't know how water resistant they are. I was actually surprised. I did a test on those Papermate Inkjoy gel pens that I was talking about last stream. When I actually did the water test on them, they didn't do very well at all. So I was thinking they were more water resistant, but I guess that's not really their strength. But because of that, I definitely wouldn't use them in for this kind of project, which I probably wouldn't have done that anyway, because they're not really the type of pen to draw with necessarily. They're more like for writing. But anyway, that definitely confirms that. So I don't know if I have enough space for these. I'll do this set, so I can probably fit it in here if I write small enough. I think these are all technically the same series. Let me check. I don't even know how many colors they have in this series. I think I just ordered kind of somewhat arbitrary colors because I don't think this is their full color line by any means. Generally, when I order a new kind of pen to test it out, I get colors that I don't have in other series or colors that I think will be interesting, rather than just getting like red, black, blue, green kind of thing. I try to get the more unique colors, and that way, just in case they're not my favorite, at least I have some new pen in a cool color that I don't have. Let's see, I need to figure out where my camera is today. I might move it a little bit. I also set the focus on my camera today. Hopefully it's, oh shoot. Yeah, let's show what I'm doing. I'm not even paying attention. Okay. Yeah, I forgot I didn't change the scene yet. Oh, anyway, I was talking about these pens. And then also I was moving my camera around, and that's when I realized, oh, I haven't changed the scene yet. Oh boy. Anyway, these are Zebra Sarasa Nanos. I don't know if they're different ink or any different than these other Zebra Sarasas, but these are the other ones I have. There's actually I have like 3 different types, but I'm going to test each one separately, and that will kind of tell me whether or not they're the same ink. At least I might be able to figure it out. These are 0.3 nib size. It doesn't even say zebra on here, but I know they are zebras. Oh, it says it right there. Okay. Surprised they don't have their brand there. They're definitely scratchier than the Uniball Signo. You're right, okay, but it's just, you know, when you get these really small, fine tips, you tend to get kind of a slightly scratchy experience. These ones are more noticeable than the other brands. However, I happen to know that the Zebra Sarasa in the thicker nibs are quite smooth, which I will test those as soon as I'm done with these. I don't think these specify color names on here. They probably have color codes, numbers or something, but I guess I could try to put that information on there. It looks like it's VSB, maybe? It's kind of hard to make out. I don't really like it when they just have the information on the paper label, because once, well, I guess, I don't know. It can go either way. If they don't have a paper label and it's on the barrel, then that can also wear off eventually, so yeah, whatever. It's fine. Either way, you can lose the information. I like this color quite a bit. Kind of a warm gray. Okay. How long to wait for this to dry? I think they dry pretty fast. Forgot to get water for testing. So I'll go grab that. Be right back. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let me make sure my mic is still working. Okay, let's just go for it. Let me grab my water brush. It's not the same brush. I mean, I should probably grab the same one. This one's actually probably better for painting, but not for this test. It's like a thinner bristle. It looks like these are not going to test that well unless certain colors do better than others. It's definitely the case. None of them are like amazing, it looks like, but some of the colors are a little stronger than others. Overall, it's pretty decent, especially compared to the Papermate Ink Joys. Those were smearing all over the place. I didn't actually do that on stream, but okay. I have to wait for that to properly dry. It's actually kind of better not to like speed up the drying process for these because part of the test is just, you know, if the water's sitting on there for a little while longer, it will continue to make it blur and feather and stuff. So I actually like to leave it on there. I'll check something real quick. Change scenes for a second. There's probably enough space to do a little drawing of some sort. I'll just do the same thing I did last time, just a random doodle. This pen is very old and close to dying, but it's actually pretty good for this kind of loose sketch stuff because you don't really want these lines to be super thick and permanent and stuff. Grab my phone. I always like to get a picture of the doodle before I make something out of it. Just for reference to see, I don't know. Whatever, I don't know what I'm saying. I just want my phone though. Just kind of fun to see like how the doodles began. Their original unimagined form. Unrealized, whatever. So today was completely just a waste day. I slept in really late, and then it was super hot. So hot that I had to get out of the house. I didn't like go hiking or anything because it just felt too hot for that. But I got out and about just to find a place with air conditioning, basically. Okay, so it's probably pretty obvious, but there's a pretty obvious face here. As usual, almost always see faces in these things. I wish I could see different things. I think this guy has like something like an eye patch, I guess. I'm not obligated to use any or all of these lines. It's more just a tool to inspire me with something. Because usually I don't really know what to draw, and I find it fun to let the lines tell the story, whatever. make the object that I didn't necessarily have in mind. So I often use them as direct inspiration, like you see here, and sometimes I don't even change them at all. But other times I'll just see one small shape and then the rest is kind of my imagination or whatever. But often I like what I see, and it's shapes that I couldn't have dreamed up myself. But other times, you know, I want to take a little bit more initiative and add to it. Right now I'm having a hard time deciding how to complete the rest of this face. Looks like his eye is closed here, but I might actually just scratch that. Make it sort of a skin fold on the edge of his eye instead. Let's see, what else can we do here? I like the sort of, there's usually a little bit of cubism in a lot of these drawings because I'm inspired by the lines that already exist. They don't always make sense, like the perspective. Like I would never make a nose facing this direction. It's kind of opposite to the rest of his face, but because that's how the lines inspired me, I kind of like leaving that stuff because it's weird, but it also adds like a character that you wouldn't even think to do yourself. Sometimes it just looks wrong or weird, but weird is good in my opinion. Like this whole lip thing going on here too, it looks like he almost has like stitches on his mouth, or he has really dry lips or something. And I didn't necessarily think to do that. It was just there already, so you just kind of run with it. Now, as far as his chin, I'm having a hard time deciding what to do with his chin. I also like leaving incomplete lines, like kind of want to connect all these lines and stuff, at least a lot of times. But it has more character if you leave things disconnected sometimes. Oh yeah, I guess since he's kind of probably sort of a pirate sort of guy, I think I might just give him a beard type thing. I probably should switch over to a different pen now that I'm actually drawing, but because this pen is rather dried out, that's fine. Yeah, that looks good. I didn't see that till just then when I realized, wait a minute, he's a pirate, he can have a beard. That works. Okay. I don't know if he's a pirate, but he has an eye patch which makes him look like a pirate, I guess. I sort of want to fix his nose, but it's there, you know? I think I'm gonna leave it. It's a weird nose. Maybe half of it got chopped off. Who knows? Who knows? His nose. Okay, I think I'm done with that pen. It's kind of drying out. Oh. Great experience, I guess. This one I think is probably too thick though. Guess it's okay. This would be more like a finishing pen that I would use to outline things with, but it's okay.
Celtics versus Jazz.
It has bottles for brains, I guess. Pirates are kind of known for their drinking a bit. They also have like ships in a bottle, you know, all that kind of stuff. So he's literally adopted that into his personhood, I guess. Didn't quite have enough room to go as high on those as I want because of the stuff up there, but get the general idea. Got no neck. I like drawing guys with no neck. It blends in with the shoulders there. Okay. I'm seeing deep indigo in this guy and possibly some light green of some sort. I'd like it to not be very bright green though, so let me grab my other pen or pencils. I don't remember what new colors I have. This one looks appropriate. I should look at my swatches to know for sure, but I think that. He's got green skin for whatever reason. I need good. I think I got madder brown. I think I'm gonna use madder brown for his it'd be kind of dark brown on the edges, and then right in the center there's gonna be a flame orange type thing going on. Okay, he's got kind of a green skin. I guess maybe he's been out at sea too long. Maybe he's a zombie. I don't. Or possibly he drinks too much and sort of affected his skin color a little bit. Bright red eye. Oh, I almost forgot his eyebrows. Kind of the same color as his beard. The bottles, I don't know. Let's see. I don't even know if this brush is better for painting. It might be in some ways, well, if you want some really fine details, but actually I've grown really used to that one I've been using, so I'm gonna have to switch back to it. Seems just perfect. I don't know what it is. Basically, exactly perfect. It needs a yellow golden background for some reason. What I'm seeing. Interesting how unusual shapes that you wouldn't have expected turn out to work. Like, I can't really understand how that nose works. It's totally wrong, but when I look at it, my brain fills in the gaps of what it should be, even though his nose should be in a different spot. It somehow seems okay. Some of those mysteries of, I don't know how that works, but it doesn't bother me that much. I could probably just leave it like that, but I might add a few little lines here and there. Mostly dry. Probably be better to wait a little longer, but it's okay, I think. Oh, this one must be dead. Oh, wow. Yeah, it is. Didn't even notice that. I'm like, why isn't this working? I think it's actually either dried out or pretty much... No, I guess there should be some ink left. Sometimes it's hard to get them going, like they have ink in them, but you have to like sort of activate them somehow. Some might be just too old and dried out or something, I don't know. Name is Rognard Ballast Sr.
Everybody put your card up. Everybody put your library card up. What? Library card in my hand. It's the bomb.
Nice,
It's
so sad. Thanks for
Graham
following.
library card. Solid gold. So out of control. It's like, whoa.
Okay. Rognard Ballast Sr. What's his name? Oh, I almost forgot to give this test a title. Not much room. I have to do it out of order too. 333, even though I did it. I guess I could change this one to a sloppy 3. Alright, there's Ragnar Ballast Sr. Actually, I wonder, I think I was kind of influenced by this jet pen sticker. Originally, I was thinking to match that, but then as I started drawing, I forgot about that idea, but I must have sort of latched onto that anyway, without even realizing it. Okay, back to testing. I'm going to finish these two series over here. Since I don't know for sure if they're identical, I'm just going to do them separately. So I got two. Got Zebra Sarasa clips, and we got the old school regular Zebra Sarasa. Somehow I failed to get that one in the other test, but that's fine. I used to have more of these. I think I still do. I don't know where they are, though. I don't expect these to do very well. They write very smooth, though. Very pleasant for writing. These are very old. This one's like almost probably out of ink. These clip ones aren't nearly as smooth. I don't know why. Like, I think the original formula, something about the way they used to do them is better. I like them better. These ones tend to be a little scratchier and they skip a little bit. But all of these pens are kind of old because I've had them for quite a while. But these ones, the original Zebra Sarasas, are even older and they work fine. So there's something about these clip ones that they changed, and I'm not a huge fan. Some of the colors are better than others, though. The original ones are actually harder to find now. I think this is the first gray pen that I found. I really like gray pens just because they're kind of unusual. They're becoming more common now, but like, back when I found this one, it was pretty revolutionary. Starting to dry out now. Can't say I'm like a huge fan of these clip ones though. I feel like they should be the same, but they're not. They changed something. They don't write nearly as smoothly as the originals. Each color is different though. This brown is working very nice. This brown, that magenta color, that green was not too bad. And actually that kind of orange was pretty good. But a lot of the others are either really scratchy or kind of dried out. And I think even when they were new, they were not like amazing. They do come in quite a few colors, though. This is not the full color set at all. Okay, those have dried long enough on the top, I think. Yeah, not very water resistant. Doesn't really surprise me. This is approximately the same performance as the Papermate Inkjoy gel pens, which I thought were actually better at water resistance than they are. They're really not very good. These are not either. just kind of highlights how good the Uniball Signal ones are. They're amazingly good compared to these. Some of these thinner ones are doing better for some reason. Yeah, these clip ones are doing better. Mostly, like, not all the colors, but some of them. All right, there's that. I remember, right, besides, I might test some inks. Like, I want to maybe test all these. But aside from that, I wanted to also try these pens. They're very cheap, generic. I don't even know if they have a brand name, really. But since I have them, I want to test them again. I tested them years ago, and I don't remember what the results were. They have, like, tons of colors. That's kind of why I like them. I want to try them. But I'm not expecting... don't have high hopes for these. Fineliner color pen. I don't even think they have a brand. They might have had a brand when I bought them, like on Amazon, but super generic. I don't know how I came up with the numbering system. I might have just... I think what I did is I tried to put them in rainbow-ish spectrum color order, and I may or may not have succeeded, but we'll just try them. We'll just call them fineliner color pen, just like they say on there. I should have a whole page just for these. Or 2 pages. It's going to take a lot of space. I don't think these are going to do well at all. Some of them are probably going to dry out too. I've had these for years also. Wow, that one's just randomly leaked. These would be fine for just like unimportant sketches though. Like I wouldn't want to do anything important because they would fade quickly, I'm assuming. I don't think these are necessarily pigment. They'll probably die. I bet these will smear quite terribly. It is fun how many colors there are, though. They're actually not bad for writing. Except that, you know, whatever you're writing is out in the sun, it would probably fade away pretty quick. This is one of those manufactured items that you can see made by a million different brands. They're all knockoffs coming from the same factory in China or wherever. I don't remember how much I paid for them at the time, but I remember they were pretty cheap for this, like this huge set of colors. I don't know if I'll do all of them. Not sure. I might just do the pinks and reds to start and then test those. And if they're completely terrible, there's probably not really much reason to do all of them. Probably take 2 or 3 pages just to write this out anyway. So I came up with this arbitrary numbering system. I also drew these things on each of the caps because sometimes the plastic color thing is not accurate, so it's nice to have visual representation. I did like a lighter line and then a darker line just to give myself an idea of what I could use these pens for. Kind of amazing these even still work because they were so cheap and generic that I could see them all drying out in a short amount of time. This one's pretty much dried out. Kind of crazy that they even manufacture this many colors though for such a cheap generic brand to like go to all this effort to formulate this many crazy amount of colors. I kind of wish the high quality brands or good brands would do this kind of thing. Make a huge number of colors. Some of these are just like bled out and weird stuff. Crazy thing is too, these really aren't duplicates. Like some of the colors are crazy similar and stuff, but man, they really are truly different colors. They're not just 2 of each or 3 of each. Quite impressive. One more, and I'll probably not test the rest of the colors. Unless these like do surprisingly good, then I might. But I don't think these will do well at all. Honestly, I'm not that. I mean, they're doing better than I thought. Not great, but doing better than some of the other better brands. I wish I knew like some way to test whether they are pigment or dye based. There's probably some tests you can do. I mean, one way would just be to like leave it out in the sun and see how quickly they fade, but they definitely smear, but they're not really that terrible. I guess as the water is just sitting on there longer, they are spreading even more, so maybe they are. I think they'll probably more or less match my expectations of what they would be. They just needed a little bit longer to soak, I guess. I don't think I'll bother to test all the other colors. There's not much point really. You could actually use this effect to your advantage though, like even though this is kind of not what I'm looking for on the water test, you could actually paint with these to some degree, blending the colors together, all that kind of stuff. But that's not the kind of thing that I do. It's not what I'm looking for when I test pens. I want them to withstand the water as much as possible. But there you go. And so yeah, you can just see how many colors there are. I think I might have some other pens in here too. Let me flip through these just in case there's some other things hidden in here. Oh, look at all these glorious colors. It's amazing. I wish they were better. I mean, and if you're not picky, definitely useful. I mean, they're cool. Okay, that's what I thought was in here. So I have some more of these. These are actually good. I should get these out of here and in my regular 8-pack thing because I use these all the time. These are basically the best version of these kind of pens. They're Sharpie pens, also known as Sharpie Sharpie felt tip pens, but they're not like the permanent markers. They're much better in my opinion. But anyway, these are one of my favorite pens of all time for writing, and even for art they're pretty good too. They come in a fair number of colors, like not as many as I would like. I wish brands like these would make like 100 colors. Like, I would probably be tempted to buy a lot of them if they did. I think they have around 25 colors, something like that. In between 24 and 30, something like that. Alright, so these definitely didn't do that great. Spread quite a bit. That's just kind of what I was expecting. Okay, so this guy, either two guys like stacked on top of each other, or it's a guy with two heads. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter. think I'm just going to leave that one black and white. It could add some color, but yeah, it's kind of interesting the way it is. Cadmium Roberts, what that one's called. Changed my mind. I'm going to add a little bit of color just to see what happens. Might overdo it, but it's all right. See how good these pens are or not. I didn't use the best pens, so they might smear a little bit. All right, that one's done. This one might actually be dried out. I'm not sure. It's ancient. Yeah, pretty much. It's very, very old. I could get some pigment out of there, but not ink anymore. Alright, so that's a good little test of each of those. I have some other brands as well, but those are the ones. I actually use the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay India ink and the Daler-Rowney FW Artist Acrylic ink the most. Higgins and this stuff, I don't really use that much. I would use the Speedball if it was not totally dried out. I could always get some more someday if I really want. Pretty happy with the lines that I can make with the crow quill, I think these are called. The risk of these is that it's very easy to have a blob of ink just like drop unintentionally, and that's very not fun when that happens, but otherwise, if you can get used to that kind of risk, then they have a lot of good qualities. Okay, if there's any, maybe I should, to give this a fair test, I'm gonna go rinse out this water jar because it probably would affect the appearance. Make it look like they're smearing when they might not be. Oops, no, not good. What are the chances of that? Probably decent chance. I was kind of worried about that happening earlier with something, but oh, guess I won't be listening to music anymore today. Just dropped my earbud in the water jar, but they're just cheap dollar earbuds, so there's no big deal. And they'll probably still work once they dry out, actually. Oh, let's see, while I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to close the windows. I had them open all night to let some cool air in. Probably leave them open a little longer, but I'm going to risk defeating the purpose. Stayed up all night, as I suspected I might. Man, I'm kind of flew. I think I actually, well, I don't know. I think if I put a tiny bit of ink on a crow quill, I could keep it from dropping. I'm super careful, but it's definitely kind of a nerve-wracking medium just because of that. I forgot that jar. My guess is that these will all do quite well, but maybe I'll be surprised and they'll actually smear a little bit. I don't. They are heavily pigmented, so you definitely have to give them time to dry, that's for sure. There's absolutely no disturbance. The Higgins picks up a very, very, very tiny bit, but almost not at all. Daler-Rowney picks up a little bit. So I would say that one does really well. Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay India ink is the best, no doubt, out of these options. 100 times better than the others combined. I'm actually kind of surprised at the Daler-Rowney. I think it's possible that I didn't give it quite enough time to fully dry, but it is highly pigmented, so it is kind of hard to stay put when you got that much color on the page. But yeah, that's impressive. That is very impressive on that stuff. So if I were to, basically the whole reason I'm doing this stuff is kind of for my information and anyone else that might drop by, but the biggest reason is on these kind of drawings where I'm doing ink plus like the washes with the watercolor pencils, or in this case Derwent Inktense pencils, same kind of thing. I want some black lines that will stay put and not smear when I add water on top of them. So that's why I'm testing all these pens and ink and everything to see how they react to water. So if I were to use a quill or dip pen, I would use that brand most likely. It's kind of my favorite anyway. I've always really liked that brand. It's between these two. As far as writing, like I actually dip in ink and write. I have like a million colors of ink, you know, just all the colors. If I'm writing, either one of these brands is really nice. Just to give you an example of what that's like. So I should mix this. Should mix them if they've just been sitting around for a million years. I don't do calligraphy really, but I like to write in cursive and just my regular printing. So I like to write in my journals with this kind of stuff. It just gives you kind of that old world kind of feel, vibe. The experience largely depends on which paper you're using though. Like I don't, while they work just fine on this watercolor paper, that texture, tooth, whatever you want to call it, makes it harder to write because the tip of the nib gets caught on the little hairs and textures and things. So I prefer very smooth paper when I'm writing with this kind of pen. But anyway, you can do that, and then you can also just use them like watercolor. You can do so many different things. It's very versatile stuff. I find it a little bit intimidating because it is a little bit too much like watercolor in that it's highly pigmented and you have to like water it down a lot if you don't want really intense colors like that. It's even more intense than the watercolor pencils So you have to add a lot of water to get it like to be a lighter color, and it dries like very quickly. So you kind of have to work like almost instantly. So I find that very intimidating. That's why I never really got into watercolors. I mean, with true watercolors, you have a little bit more time and you can rework them a little bit. So ink is actually more difficult in that sense that you're kind of stuck with once you apply the color. You can't really do much to it. But it is a charming medium. I like it a lot. I just I can't do it. I mean, I can do it, but it's like it feels very sloppy to me. I don't feel like I have much control over the results. But it's very beautiful. I like the colors and how vivid it is. The stream look. I'm looking at the screen. It looks terrible on a stream. It looks a lot better in person. It's way more vibrant. But part of that's probably also I shouldn't have had this turned up so bright today, but whatever. Anyway, it actually looks even better in person. But they are very fun to work with. I like these inks a lot, but mainly I just use them for writing. I don't do a lot of painting with them. I've done a couple paintings, and the first one I ever tried actually turned out quite well. I liked it a lot, but I still find it incredibly intimidating, so I don't do it much. The pencils, you have so much more control. Because you can put the color where you want it, and you can start blending it in pencil form. You can put more color here, less color over here, you know, just do basic gradients before you even add any water to it. I just feel like you have way more control. So this will be kind of a gradient between blue and magenta. So easy. It's like the easiest thing ever. If you were to try to achieve that same look or effect with the ink, it's not like you can't do it, but you'd have to do it like so fast, like within 3 seconds. Less than that, really. 1 second. You have to put it, you almost have to hold two brushes, one with the magenta and one with the blue on it, and just be like really fast. Otherwise, it's gonna like make permanent marks on the page rather than a smooth gradient. It's really difficult. I find the painting with the ink is quite challenging. I wonder if I can make something out of that, since I bothered to make a mess there. This is the danger of using these pencils on an area that's still wet. It just like makes a big blobby mess, and if you're not ready for that, it can be like, oh shoot, that's not what I wanted. So that's why I usually let it fully dry before I add any other colors. It doesn't mix as well either if it's not dried yet. So that was kind of a mistake on my part there, to not wait till it's dry before putting another layer on there. It's really hard to smooth it out once you've done that. You can see I have a lot longer though. Like you still have to do it pretty fast with these pencils, but not nearly as fast as the ink directly. No idea what this thing is, by the way. All right, I'll probably head out. I'll probably do something to this to make it into an actual drawing, so I can give it a number and stuff. But I don't know. I'll just do that off stream later. I think I'll head out. I will see you all around somewhere sometime. I don't know when.